Salvete omnes. This is exercise B of the third and 3rd-io conjugation, start of the review packet. In exercise B, we are to identify, parse out each of these Latin verbs, giving the person, the number, the tense, and the voice, and then an English translation. The first one has been done for you. Positus est. Positus est. So we can tell by the ending here on est that it's a third person singular. If you just had positus by itself, you wouldn't tell if that's third person singular or not. You could tell that it's masculine. You couldn't tell if it's perfect. You could tell it's passive. So we need this helping verb to tell us the person, the number, so third person singular, and the tense, because if we change the tense of this, we would change the tense of the whole verb. So it's perfect and it's passive. How do you translate the perfect passive? He, she, it was verbed. He, she, it has been verbed. We know that it's a masculine person because of the us. It's not a or So he was placed. He has been placed. Number the next one, reducti sunt. Reducti sunt. Third person, plural, perfect, passive. They, and they're masculine, you could say the men, were led back. They were reduco, reducere, reduxi, reductus. Not just duco, but reduco, led back. Cogebantur, cogebantur. Third, plural, imperfect, passive, imperfect, passive. They were being, there are two translations for kogo. They were being forced, they were being compelled, or they were being collected, they were being gathered. This is because the root of this verb is ago. You know ago from ago, agere, agiactos. It's the first verb in this vocab bank. So kogo is cum ago. Cum, as sometimes as a prefix, shows up as con or co. Think of words like collaborate. That means you labor, laborare, work cum with someone. Cum laboro. So cogebantur is co-ago, cum ago. Now, cum as a prefix has two meanings. It means together, like with, like it does as a preposition meaning with, means together with, along with. So that's the meaning of to drive with, or to drive together means to collect, to gather. That's the gather meaning of kogo. But cum as a prefix can also mean forcibly, with force, with some might and gusto behind it. So that means to do something forcibly, to force, or to compel somebody, to force someone to do something, kogo. We see that that cum meaning is for forcibly also in conficio. It's cum facio, not just to do something, but to do it forcibly to the point where it's done. The thing is made, completed, accomplished. And also conicio, cum yacio, not just to throw it, but to really throw it, to cast it, to hurl it. So you have two translations here. They were being collected or they were being forced. The being is important then as the imperfect passive. Tradita sunt, tradita sunt. So we have third person, plural. It's perfect and passive. Take note of the gender. If it's plural, you might think, oh, this is feminine. It's an A. Careful, it's plural. The plural feminine would be I, A-E. That would be traditae sunt. This is tradita sunt. So this is the plural neuter. This is the plural of So that the singular would be traditum est. This is tradita sunt. So they, the things, were handed over. The things were surrendered. They have been surrendered. It's perfect passive. Defendar. Defendar. So that ar ending. So first person singular, that is the future passive. Ar eris etur, em or emini entur. So defendar. I will be defended. Future passive. I will be defended. Vincetur. Vincetur. This is the third person singular. It's future passive. Eres etor, emor, emini, entor, vincetor. Future passive, third person singular. He, she, it will be conquered. He, she, it will be, will be conquered, will be destroyed. Someone will win over them. Someone will win over a he, she, or it. Ducta est, ducta est. So we can tell by the a and the singular that this is going to be feminine. So third person singular and feminine. Perfect passive. She was led. She has been led. Delegitor, delegitor, from deligo, delegere, delegi, delectus. So delegitor, this is third person, singular. This is present and passive. Notice the I before the tor. If it were an E before the tor, like in vicetor, it would be future, but this is present. Present and passive. He, she, it is being chosen. He, she, it is being elected. Missi erunt, from mita, mitere, missi, one S, missus, double S. So third person, plural, future perfect passive. So they will have been sent. They will have been sent. And we know it's masculine gender because of the letter I pronounced E, so you can say the men will have been sent. Regar, regar, first person singular, future passive. I will be ruled. Rego, regere, rexi, rectus. It's the verb form of rex, regus, masculine, king. What does a king do? Rule. He rules. He guides. He reigns. I will be reigned over. I will be ruled. I will be guided. Capientur, capientur. Third person, plural. Future, that's future tense, passive voice. Capientur, E before the untor. If it were you, capiuntur, that would be present tense. That would be present tense. Here we have capientur. So third person plural, future passive. They will be captured. They will be taken. Confecimus, confecimus. First person plural, perfect active of conficio, conficere, confeci, confectus. Not just to facio, to make or to do something, but to cum facio, really, really do it to the point where you have finished or accomplished it. So we finished. We have accomplished. Perfect active. Jagda sunt. Jagda sunt. That is third person plural, perfect passive of jakio, jacere, jeki, jactus. So they were thrown. They were thrown. Notice that the gender is neuter. They were thrown. Fugient. Fugient, third person, plural, future active. They will flee. They will flee. Incipiemus, first person, plural, future active. We will begin. We will start. Cepit, third person, singular, perfect active. He, she, it took. He, she, it has taken. Facta erunt, third person, plural, future perfect passive. They, neuter things, the things will have been made. They will have been done. Accipietur, third person, singular, future passive of accipio, accipere, accapi, accaptus. He, she, it will be accepted. Accepti erant, third person, plural, pluperfect passive of accipio, accipere, accapi, accaptus. Same verb. They had been accepted. Notice that the gender is masculine. You could say the men had been accepted. Enfecimus, first person, plural, perfect active of facio, facere, feci, factus. We made, we did. We have made, we have done. Optime. That's it for exercise B. You are now ready to move on to exercise E, or exercise C, whichever one comes after B.